Hello, I'm Duncan McNair. I'm a lawyer by day, author by night, and exhausted by morning. As well as being Duncan McNair, I'm also Mr. and Mrs. Morello and their 3 lazy children. I'm also Professor Wedbetter, Nolene O'Riordan, and Jeff Skidmore, the local driving instructor. I'm also quite a few beasts and animals from the Morello's menageries. So I'd love to tell you a bit about the actual concept of the book. I pretend to be Mrs. Morello, who's a big fat Italian lady living with her lazy husband and 3 idle children in suburban Ealing, and they have a menagerie of animals in the back garden. And the Morellos are prodigious letter writers who write to all sorts of famous people like the Prime Minister, Cliff Richard, the Archbishop of Canterbury, with absurd requests for advice on matters of animal husbandry and on all sorts of topical issues, often referring to their menageries in the back garden. So, for example, Mrs. Morello wrote to the Archbishop of Canterbury asking if they could name their new baby Gerbil after him because of the uncanny resemblance. And I got an amazing, genuine reply, which is the first letter in the new book, More Morello Letters. Anyway, I'd like to just tell you about how the whole thing got going. The first letter I ever wrote was a complaint about a hairbrush to Boots the chemist's. I bought this hairbrush for $4.99 in Ealing Broadway, and all the teeth fell out. Not my teeth, the teeth of the hairbrush. And I didn't feel that angry about it, but I thought I'd have a punt at writing. And I thought I would try under a false name. I wanted a sort of happy, bouncy name and colourful, and so I came up with the name Morello, and I wrote, and I got a very nice reply with a postal order for $4.99, which I couldn't cash because it was made to Mr. Morello. I also got back, bizarrely, a t-shirt and then a mug and then another letter of apology, and I'm pretty sure I got a second postal order as well. Well, that was a pretty good return on my investment and encouraged me greatly. So I then started writing other letters, and I always got replies. I wrote to Selfridges, the department store in Oxford Street, as Mrs. Morello, explaining that I've got dodgy ankles and that I'm waiting for the guide dog to come through, but for the moment I've got a guide goat, and would it be possible to bring the goat with me up to the 4th floor of Selfridges soft furnishings department to try out a few massive mattresses? And I got a very nice reply from the head of customer services saying that he thought it was probably a first in modern British retail to introduce the goat into the store, and possibly might hamper the shopping experience for other visitors. So I wrote back immediately and said, yes, we'd love to have the hamper, thanks very much. And actually they sent me a small hamper for Christmas. Well, as I think you can see, I've really enjoyed doing More Morello Letters, and I really hope you enjoy it too. And as Mr. Morello would say in signing off his letters, apologies for being Italian, and I'm sorry about the English, which is much better than the Mrs. Yours sincerely, R.M. Morello, Mr. and Duncan McNair.